Okay, just completed the tap, and now we're going to go ahead and see about doing this interpretation.
Thanks for telling me about the vacation. It sounds like a really cool experience. Tell me about your family, okay?
My mom just recently married again. I have only one sister and one brother, and my sister is deaf like me, and my mom and dad are both hearing. They can sign, but not real skilled. And sometimes I'll tell them how to correctly sign. And they sign a little bit. Sometimes I have to help them a little bit with right signs for like a correct word that they're looking for.
Oh, wow! You have a deaf sister? I guess you really like having someone so close just to chat with, huh?
I do like having a deaf sister, but my hearing sister's fine too. All right, hearing is fine. We talk about a very diverse set of things, a lot of things, and we just have a really good time.
That's great! What about pets? Do you have any animals at home?
I have one pet. It's a dog.
A dog? Dogs can be so much fun. How long have you had it? What's it look like?
Oh, let me think. Let me think. I don't really remember how long I've had the dog, but it's a medium-sized dog. It's big for its kind. It's tan in color, it's like dark tan. It's cute. It's a really cute dog. I guess it's kind of small. Name is Spock. I think she said has spots.
Spock? How in the world did your dog get a name like that?
Well, his ears are kind of pointed, kind of like the guy on Star Trek. So his ears resemble that, so he gets that name. Dad's the one who watches Star Trek all the time. I rarely watch it. Sometimes I do.
That's cute. So, Sabrina, what do you do in your spare time? Do you have any hobbies or school activities you enjoy?
I like crafts, drawing. I don't really do art a lot, but crafts, there's a variety of craft things I like braiding, creative things. I just like creating things, like I might paint a can, or I also love volleyball and cheerleading.
Oh, tell me more about the cheerleading. How did you get involved in that? Does it require a lot of time?
Cheerleading practice a couple weeks before I try out, so I made it. The first time that I tried out, I didn't make it, and then later on down, someone quit or got kicked out, and then I was able to make it into the team. And cheerleading doesn't really travel a lot, except for GVD, which stands for Great Great Plains School for the Deaf.
I take it you like cheerleading.
I really love cheerleading, and I love to support the school. So I like to have something to do. If I'm not playing basketball, at least I'll have cheerleading or something to do.
Your school spirit is great. How long have you been cheerleading?
Last year will be my second year. Now next year I'll be doing it my second year, and I already know that I'm going to be in it next year because they've already selected for the team for next year, and I made it.
Congratulations on making it again. How many people are on your school's squad?
My school has 16 cheerleaders. There's a limit. And we also, that's including one mascot.
Oh, yeah? Describe your mascot.
It's a big cat, tannish color, I think, and black spots, maybe.
I'll bet that costume gets pretty hot. Let's talk about the academic side of school. What's your favorite class?
My favorite class at school, let me see, maybe English. I love writing, and I also love reading books. I have many favorite books. I kind of like the genre of scary books, like Goosebumps. I like that kind of books.
Oh, yeah. I've heard lots of good comments on that series. Who's the author?
R.L. Tiley. He's the author of that series of Goosebumps books.
I'm glad you enjoy that series. Do you have a favorite teacher?
Favorite teacher? Let's see. I don't really have a favorite teacher, but my favorite teacher is not actually my teacher. She's actually in a different class.
It's okay if you don't have a class with that teacher this year. Tell me why it's your favorite teacher anyway.
I think that's my favorite teacher because really good at helping with solving problems. If I have a problem with someone, I can meet with that person and resolve the issue, like my mom.
Problem solving is so important. How do you feel about your life in general? Have you had to deal with many problems?
I think my life is really positive thus far. Growing up, it's been positive. Doesn't matter. We're poor, but we just went through it. Been happy, so.
Wow, Sabrina, you certainly have an optimistic outlook on life. That will help you get through lots of tough obstacles. What about work? Tell me about your summer job experience.
Last summer I worked at CSD Communications Services for the Deaf. I really loved that job. It was just something I really enjoyed. I don't work in that area anymore because I work through JSPD. It's better than nothing.
What kinds of work did you do?
CSD, I worked as an intern. It was almost like an intern. I was helping other workers, assisting them, asking them if there's anything I can do, and they would tell me what to do, and I would go help them in any way I could, such as filing and typing, making labels for files, some computer work, not often, but it was something I did.
That sounds like a really great experience. What about the people you worked with? Tell me about them.
I worked with deaf people, and there was an interpreter there as well. Worked with one deaf woman named on the telephone, communication for the phone.
So do you hope to work with deaf people in the future? Or do you plan to work with hearing people?
In the future, I hope to work with deaf and hearing. Oh, but I'm not sure. I'd like to work independently, and I'm not really sure what population I'll work with. But I'd like to do more graphic work with computers.
Oh, really? Why are you interested in graphic arts?
I just love computers and graphic arts and all the things you can do, artistic things. I just love that.
Great. Have you designed those materials yourself?
Pamphlets, I haven't really done that so far. Brochures, I've never made one, but I think I can. I'll possibly try it in the future. I've made a calendar before. It really seems simple. Just have to create the background and then put the information in there. You use a clear screen like PageMaker, or you can use Photoshop, or whatever you want to format it.
Sabrina, you are quite a remarkable young lady. You're involved in many activities, you have an optimistic attitude, and you have some clear goals for your future. Do you have a role model who's helped shape your life?
I don't really have a role model, but I can think of one that's my father and my sister, my friends.
What an interesting response. How are these people role models?
Well, they really help me solve problems, and they help anytime I need something. They're just there to help me. They listen to me and give me good advice.
You really seem to respect people close to you. That's great. Do you consider yourself a role model?
I think maybe I'm a role model for some other people. I like to help solve problems. And I talk and I listen. I'm a good listener and I'm a good friend.
That's a really mature behavior. How did you work to help solve the problems? What kinds of problems have you faced?
Well, different problems, like I've talked with them, trying to help them, remain calm or calm down, resolve the problem. Like different problems. There's no specific one problem. There's just like every problem is different, so it will be solved differently. It really depends on the situation, because some problems have to be solved a different way. It doesn't always work out the same way.
Tell me about a specific problem and how you'd work with someone to solve it.
So, for example, if my friend was depressed, somebody in their family died or something, I would try to calm them down and just talk with them and not talk with other people and not let people, let us have one-on-one time and not let anyone intrude so they can be open and express themselves.
Yeah, helping people talk about what's bothering them is really helpful. What's an example of another problem you've helped solve?
Let's see, some other problems, like, there was a fight with another friend, an argument, and I liked the other friend, I liked them both, so I just had them come over. They won't talk, refuse to talk in front of them, but I was trying to help resolve the issue, so I was like, come on, talk to each other, and I encouraged that.
Wow, you seem to have a special gift for problem solving. Have you considered a career as a psychologist?
A future, me becoming a psychologist? No, I've never thought of that.
Well, I'm sure you'll choose a fulfilling career. Is there any famous person who's had an impact on your life? A favorite deaf person, perhaps?
Let me think. Favorite deaf person, a successful deaf person. Not really have one, but I really like Marley Matlin. Her life's almost like mine. I grew up almost the same life as her. My problems and stuff in her kind of parallel and match hers. I try to express myself with my voice to hearing people. I don't want to feel like I have to, and she talks about the same experience.
That's interesting. Tell me more about how your lives are similar.
Marley's life, she's deaf, and I am too, but we try to, mesh with the hearing world and make it through and learn to express our own feelings. And sometimes it's frustrating, sometimes, anger and stuff like that, whatever our expression or whatever our expressions are.
What are some ways you try to fit into the hearing world?
I try to fit into the hearing world by learning voicing skills better and learning oral skills and also voicing, and I try to fit in then I can fit in fine. I really do enjoy voicing sometimes, but I don't really feel like when I don't feel like voicing, I just prefer signing, and I voice when I feel like it. Some people prefer me voice, some people really don't. So it's just whatever the stress is, that whether I use my voice or whether I sign.
When do you want to use your voice?
Situations like, it just depends. Like, I'm not really good at voicing, but if I feel like voicing, then I'll use my voice. Sometimes I'll use my voice to communicate with hearing people and or teach sign language to them.
Is there a situation when you don't want to use your voice?
Well, like in a restaurant, when we go in there, I'd prefer to not use my voice and just write, because some hearing people don't understand my speech when I use my voice, so I just prefer to, write or have an interpreter.
Thanks so much for sharing your insights with me today. Chatting with you has been a genuine
Okay.
pleasure.